Hey there everybody, I'm Joe Disney Guy, and with Labor Day already behind us and October looming, summer is sadly just about over. So what better way to give one last goodbye to the warmest season of the year than with a beach party? Okay, so maybe we're not going to have a beach party, but I do know some Disney characters who will. So a few years back, I talked about my love for the old Disney sing-along videos as we looked at Disney's 12 Days of Christmas. Well, considering that you guys really seemed to enjoy that video, and it was one of my personal favorites to make, I thought it was high time that we took another stroll through my childhood nostalgia and break out another one of my old Disney sing-along tapes. So without any further ado, let's jump right into Beach Party at Walt Disney World. Okay, so maybe a little bit of further ado, as I gotta comment on this little intro that plays before the video starts. So, I think that most people remember the cartoon intro that usually played before the sing-along videos featuring Professor Owl and his students. And while that intro is certainly nostalgic and memorable for me as well, seeing this intro featuring Mickey and the gang almost literally brought me back to my childhood. So in the short span of 1994 through 1995, there was actually a division of Disney sing-along tapes called Mickey's Fun Songs, a collection of what would be 3 sing-along tapes featuring Mickey and the gang on various excursions. And although this branding would be short-lived and without the biggest library in the world, I did have all 3 of those tapes and probably wore them out with how often I played them. So seeing the old Mickey's Fun Songs intro again brought back some pretty good memories. It's kind of funny too because I had completely forgotten this intro even existed, but from the very first line I started singing along with this goofy smile on my face. Nostalgia is a weird thing. Anyway, the video actually opens with Celebration, as Mickey rounds up all of his friends from what appears to be a conglomeration of the sets from Disney MGM Studios and Sesame Street for the titular beach party at Walt Disney World. And for the record, yes, I know that nowadays it's called Disney's Hollywood Studios, but 1, back then it was still called MGM Studios, and 2, if you don't think that I still refer to it as MGM Studios whenever I go and visit these days, well, I'm sorry, but you're sadly mistaken. Of course, the question that I always had is, what exactly are we celebrating here anyway? Actually, the lyrics of the song are slightly changed in this version to help it fit in better with the summer theme, though it doesn't actually lend any information as to what the celebration they're having is for. Except for celebrating that it's summer, I guess? Whatever, I'm not gonna get too caught up in the semantics of a sing-along video. Really, this is probably all just a manifestation of my jealousy that these kids can just get whisked away off the Walt Disney World by Mickey without a care in the world or even a moment's hesitation by their parents. Trust me, this sort of stuff was not happening in New Jersey when I was a kid. Mickey uses his newfound teleportation powers to take us to the beach, where one of the youngest of the kid actors laments that no one at the party knows who she is, sparking the original song, Set Your Name Free. This does bring up one of the things that I like about this video and the Mickey's Fun Song series in general, is that there's actual connectors between the songs instead of just a title slate or something to that effect. Much like I said back in my wartime era reviews, I always appreciate a little cohesion between otherwise random songs, and these little 10-second skits do help provide that. But as for the song itself, it's sort of a weird Mickey Mouse Club-esque intro into the child actors in this video, only with vastly less star power. Trust me, I looked into this. Where the Mickey Mouse Club had Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, the most I could find from these kids was some indie flicks, a bit of TV, and just a touch of voice work. Perhaps the most famous of the bunch is Tiffany Burton, who appeared in every Mickey's Fun Song tape, hosted a very short-lived series back in the 90s called Kids Songs, and even appeared as a choreographer on So You Think You Can Dance. Though the song is plenty upbeat and fun, my issue with it as a sing-along song is that, considering it's acting as an introduction to the characters, it sort of makes it awkward to actually try to sing along with. I also found it kind of interesting that none of the Disney characters introduced themselves. Well, except for Minnie.
I'm Toby! You know me by my wavy hair! I'm Minnie!
Yeah, thanks for that, I guess. But I suppose that theoretically, because everyone already knows who Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are, as compared to Meeka, Toby, and Boo, it makes sense. After we get to meet everyone, we head over to Typhoon Lagoon to catch some waves and sing Surfin' Safari. This is the first time in the video that they actually show off one of Walt Disney World's parks, though it wouldn't be the last. And it also marked the first time that the upper registers of the children's voices are unshakably noticeable. What? I can't. Were you saying something? I can't. I think my eardrums might have been blown out. I actually had a lot of fun with this song because it's the first time in the tape that we really get to see the characters getting into some Disney parks related shenanigans. Whether it's Goofy, once again comically failing at sports, or Donald just unintentionally burying himself in the sand, it's these silly character moments that kept me coming back to this tape time and time again. We even get a random Tigger sighting as a lifeguard. Though it does beg the question, do you think that Tiggers can bounce on water? The kids then follow a scuba-clad Mickey over to Shark Reef for 3 little fishies. Not much to say about this song really, just a cute version of the kids song that's basically used to show off the cool snorkeling area at Typhoon Lagoon. Though I gotta admit, it does look pretty cool getting to swim around with all those tropical fish. I'm definitely gonna have to check out Shark's Reef next time that I'm in. What? Oh, come on, really? I guess this is what I get for trying to make travel plans based on a 1995 VHS tape. The boys come across a gold coin while snorkeling, which leads to them imagining themselves as pirates, taking us to, oh boy, a Disney song, A Pirate's Life. This is where the tape really kicks into gear for me, both because as a kid, it was a song that I actually knew and could sing along to, but also because watching the overhammy pirates dancing and acting along the ship is pretty entertaining. We even get a little skit towards the tail end of the song with Captain Hook discovering the kids and Peter Pan arriving to fight them off. Overall, it's a nice splash of some familiar Disney elements, especially after our little Typhoon Lagoon commercial earlier. And speaking of familiar Disney elements, while the boys are off playing pirate, the girls come across Ariel and together they sing Part of Your World. What's cool about this is that it's actually Jodie Benson providing the singing voice of the song, and not in a rip from the soundtrack sort of way, but actually re-recording it. What results is a version that, though not as produced as the original, still has some unique qualities to it while retaining its familiar and sing-along qualities due to having the authentic voice singing the song. Now, there are a lot of people, Wikipedia included actually, who credit Jodie Benson with not only supplying the voice for the sequence, but also being the live-action Ariel that's shown as well. Well, I can say with about 85% certainty, after far too much research into this topic, that the Ariel portrayed in this VHS tape is not Jodie Benson, but is rather the woman who normally portrayed Ariel in the Disney parks around this time. But hey, credit to her, she must play one heck of an Ariel, because I had to go through I can't tell you how much research just to prove that she wasn't the real thing. After our diversion of Disney tunes, we head over to Walt Disney World's other water park, Blizzard Beach, where Goofy leads the group in a rendition of Hot, Hot, Hot. Do you get it? Because it's Blizzard Beach and snow is really cold, but it's really hot there. Hot, hot, hot. Nothing? No. Oh, you're no fun. Where's Olaf? He would get it. This is the song that I always thought was probably the most fun to film, as it seems like the footage is just of the kids having a blast at the water park. For what it's worth, despite not visiting either of the water parks very much as a kid, I always preferred Blizzard Beach to Typhoon Lagoon, and I wonder if watching everyone have so much fun at Blizzard Beach on this tape caused some of that bias. Either way, we then head over to the Seven Seas Lagoon, where Chip and Dale are ferrying the kids to a luau while singing the Hooky Lao song. It's a catchy little number, but the whole sequence really just serves as a transition to get the kids to their next destination. I couldn't help while watching this scene though to think about how different a sequence like this would be with some of the more modern Disney characters, like Moana or especially Lilo and Stitch, considering the Hawaiian connections. We're then treated to a traditional hula song at the luau called Pearly Shells. I found this sequence to be pretty fascinating because they actually teach you the hula dance to go along with the song. It's a nice little addition that helps make the song more memorable and helps you appreciate what you're actually watching when they perform the hula at full speed by the end of the song. And yes, I understand that by very definition, hula dancing does not involve vocal lyrics, so the whole idea of singing along to a hula song is moot. But once again, this is a sing-along after all, so I'm going to cut them a little bit of slack here. As the sun sets, the beach party rages on with Limbo Rock. For one reason or another, this was always the most memorable song on the tape for me. It's not like the song itself is all that memorable, it's just Limbo Rock. But I think the visual of the nighttime beach party and the kids playing with the characters just made this sequence stick in my mind after all these years. Though I gotta admit, looking back on it now, these kids are clearly some dirty cheaters when it comes to Limbo. I mean, come on, look at that. That's not limboing, that's crouching. But I guess it does lead to a better result than poor Donald. Poor guy, always getting the short end of the stick. Or, I suppose, the low end of the limbo stick in this scenario. We wrap up the video with Slice and Sand, which is led by Aladdin, who apparently beat Marty McFly to the invention of rock music by about 100 years, as him and Jasmine are now leading an Arabian rock band. Admittedly, I wouldn't have expected a doo-wop rock song to close out the video, but it is pretty upbeat, and watching the whole cast have a good time dancing along forces me to have a good time too. It actually ends up being a pretty fun finale and a nice capper to this all-day beach party. So that was Beach Party at Walt Disney World, and all in all, it's a pretty fun trip down memory lane. Look, of the two sing-alongs that I've reviewed so far, I definitely enjoyed 12 Days of Christmas more, partially because I think it emphasized the actual Disney characters more than the kids. But in fairness, that's also one of my favorite Disney sing-along tapes of all time. As for this one, yeah, the dancing and acting can be a little cheesy at times, and the lip-syncing is incredibly noticeable throughout. But when you bear in mind that this is all for a kid's sing-along video, it's pretty harmless. I actually think that, all things considered, there was a decent bit of effort that was put into this tape, considering that there's at least an attempt at story and cohesion, so I appreciate that. The high point of the tape for me is definitely the Disney songs in the middle, particularly Part of Your World, if for no other reason than Jodie Benson. But I will admit that the various non-Disney songs they selected for the tape also fit in pretty well to the overall theme. So if you're looking for a silly little sing-along for the end of summer, or just want to take a nostalgia trip down memory lane, definitely check out Beach Party at Walt Disney World. But just be sure to bring your bathing suit. Well guys, that wraps up for me this week. I hope you all enjoyed, and let me know what your thoughts are on Beach Party at Walt Disney World. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel, check out my Twitter for all updates with myself and the channel, check out my Patreon if you want to find more ways to help support the channel, and be sure to check out one of these fine videos floating around me if you enjoyed this one. And I'll be sure to see you all real soon.